Hello and welcome to SmartPredict Starter Series. At the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to perform a regression machine learning project in no time with SmartPredict manual flow. In other words, we will predict a continuous outcome value based on predictor variables. Based on the drag-and-drop workspace, SP presents us a new approach to conducting an AI project. This project is realized in only 3 steps with SP manual flow. First, create a project. Second, build and run flowcharts to train and evaluate an AI model in the build space. And third, build a fully deployed pipeline to put the trained model in production in the deploy space. Let's get started. First step, create a new project and upload the dataset. On SP, we are necessarily working on a project. Thus, let's create a new one dealt in manual flow. Once the project created, SP situates us in the build space. Now, let's upload the dataset. Click here and choose the right connector to retrieve your data. Let's choose Uploading Static Files. The uploaded data is available as a module here. Second step, train and evaluate an AI model in the build space. The drag-and-drop build space is designed to build and run a flowchart to train and evaluate an AI model. Let's visualize the dataset with the Data Visualizer module first. Drag and drop it, link and run. This is what our dataset looks like. Now, let's train and evaluate the ML model. The flowchart in build space has the same workflow of training and evaluating an AI model in typical ML projects. Thus, we drag and drop and link modules to execute each process. The dataset module is at the top of the flowchart. Next, to pre-process data, we use the dataset processor module. Configure it to have the desired pipeline. You can use the Data Visualizer module again to see the results of these processes. Then, use the Feature Selector module to select columns used as features and target. Thus, it returns to output. Next, we choose an ML model that can be trained in regression projects. Next, we split data into a training and testing set with the Data Splitter module. Thus, it returns for output. To train the model, use the Model Trainer module. It receives in its inputs the ML model to train, the features and labels of the training data. To evaluate the model, use the Model Evaluator module and use a metric. This receives in its input the trained model, the features and labels to test the model. Run the entire flowchart. We get a great metric. We can see logs scrolling at the bottom. When errors occur, use the Data Object Type Logger module to help you debug. Note that you can use your custom module and run this flowchart at will, so feel free to fine-tune parameters, train other ML models, and make some exploration. In addition, you can save and share your flowchart. Note that the Item Saver module is used to save as a module any process, such as a dataset, a process pipeline, a trained model, and so on. Then, let's use it to save our trained model in our dataset pre-processing pipeline. Run, reload, you can see your modules in these subcategories. Now, let's move on to the last steps. Third step. Deploy the model in the deploy space. Click on the deploy space. Choose this option. A deployment flowchart is generated in the deploy space. This flowchart is fully deployed as a web service to put the trained model in production. Just click on the rocket icon to deploy. Note that this is also a customizable flowchart, so feel free to add some post and pre-processing and update it at will. For those who want more explanation on the deployment pipeline, I invite you to read or see other tutorials. Go to the monitor space to retrieve the URL and access token to operate the web service in another environment. For this, you can find samples of code here. Otherwise, get directly in the Predict space to see the prediction. Put here the car features you want to estimate the price. Click on this arrow to send a request and get the predicted price from the deployed ML model here. If there is no output, error may occur. Debug and update it until you have a prediction on the Predict space. So you can return back to the build and deploy space at will even after deployment. We are already at the end of the tutorial. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section or ask directly to the SmartPredict community. We hope you have grasped the principles and enjoyed it. SmartPredict, the easiest way to bring AI to life.